And welcome to the second segment of the Fab Life. I just love it when when the director starts counting down. I feel like a rocket ship about to be blasted off into 5, 4, 3, 2.
Countdown.
Yeah, countdown, and I'm like, oh my goodness, oh.
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, what am I supposed to do? Like a blast off.
Yeah,
oh my gosh! So you encountered the Lord in such a powerful way. And so what happened afterwards?
Well, for the next year and a half, he taught me, he opened up my understanding to teach me Scripture. That's the funny thing. I never took theology class. I'm very unorthodox, as you know, when I talk with pastors and things like this. And it's very hard because to deny the Spirit of truth, you can't. You start learning this stuff. And when you're taught directly, there's a literal and a spiritual understanding of Scripture. And this is where man gets it wrong. Because not only do they want to compartmentalize, they want to try to explain everything. And God's an expert on His Word. Yes. We are not. And so when people try to interpret it to fit whatever construct they're trying, or maybe for control, it throws things off. When you're seeking Him with an honest heart, He's going to give you it.
Yeah.
And when you seek more is given. And so for the next year and a half, that's exactly what I did. And I was in the medical industry, preaching as I'm doing stuff. And in 2017, that came to an end. He gave me a revelation, which was not as pleasant as the first one, which is, you're giving me 50-50, and you need to give me 100%.
Wow.
And the other, it was a message. And so every time I talk to somebody's own, I go, the second part of that message is man does not have the time he thinks. And the test is coming upon humanity, where a person's going to be 100% of the world or the Lord. And as time has gone on, that's become more clear to me. But I stopped seeing patients that night. People say, well, that freaked a lot of people out. And they go, well, surely the Lord didn't give you this message. And I go, well, I surely wouldn't question what the Lord told someone else to do. But since that evening in early 2017, started a ministry and just been being led by the Spirit. And that's an act of, as people would call a leap of faith. I go, that's faith. Yes. That is the difference. That's faith. Any message that He gives anyone, you're qualified. Yes. He's not going to give you something and say, oh, go learn. He's like, you're qualified to carry this message. So whatever you've been through in your life, that is purposed. So then you're put in front of the people that you exactly have to speak to that can relate. And they're like, well, how do you understand this? Because I had to go through it. He's not going to have us speak in hypocrisy.
Oh my goodness!
So that's kind of where we're at today.
Yeah. so you have an organization right now. So tell me about is it like a charity organization?
Yes. In 2009, I was hit head-on by a drunk driver. I still didn't believe, and my spine was almost severed in half.
Oh my goodness!
And so from that point, the whole premise of the organization, we started in 2011, not realizing how I was healed or why I could walk or why I could move, was to use arts to empower and educate. And so we started working with my backgrounds in biomechanics, which just means movement, was to teach disabled kids, domestic violence victims, veterans, movement. So rather than showing and having a program that has to fit everyone, you're tailoring the program to fit people's needs. And so from that, we've branched out. There's a ministry aspect of it now, but we use all different kinds of arts, so not just movement arts, but visual arts, music, all of these different things, because people learn, and that brings out their creative side.
Yeah.
Too often the world says you have to learn this way.
Yes.
But when you have a gift, let's say for fashion, you see the world differently.
Yes.
Does it make it wrong? No, it's your perception of things.
Yes.
And so when you can teach someone what you've been shown, that's how someone else learns. We're not all sitting there like this. It's like this. But if the world tells you, you have to do it this way, people are doing things that are not, they know it doesn't fit. You're like, I don't want to be a computer tech person. I want to go, design things.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's your calling. What your calling is, that's what you should embrace, because that's why you have gifts. If you're given the gift of song and someone tells you to go work on a call center, and you're like, unless I'm singing to everyone, this doesn't make sense.
I feel like the Lord is giving me a revelation right now through you, right in front of my audience.
Well, I'm just a messenger.
This is amazing. So I heard from the grapevine that you're going to the Philippines.
Yes, that's what I hear. That's what I'm told.
Okay.
And what we're doing there is building communities. We started it out here, tiny home communities, but not just shelter. We want to have a fully self-sufficient, self-sustaining community where you have shelter, you have ministry, you have education, and you have food. Because too often people will go overseas and preach. What they don't understand is there's more faith there than here, because they're seeing this stuff happen every day. Here it's like, tumors are falling off of people. I don't believe that. Well, when you've seen it, you know the Lord can do all things. And so when you help provide education with that, you're providing hope. And so within these communities, what we're doing is you're taking small plots of land, and you're making people self-sufficient. So you're teaching them, but everything's being built in the community, like how we're supposed to live. Off the land, relying on God, but actually unification, like sharing these different ideas. And so we're starting in Manila, and then wherever he's taking us, because it seems to be continents that we're going to. We've been in, I don't know anything about the Philippines.
Mr. Worldwide.
What do I know about travel? I know a lot now because you're going here, and I go, yes, Lord. But it's exciting because I tell people when we've had meetings in the city hall, I walk in and I go, I don't know the first thing about building houses. That's why you know it's God. They would started laughing. But now it's not so funny because they're seeing this stuff come to pass and they go, wait a minute, something's happening here. And so even with the project that we're doing locally, you have big names coming on Veterans Village to manage the project. You have ministries donating land. All this stuff is happening with no money. Yeah. And so now the city's taking notice. They go, we've got to do something with this.
Yeah.
But it's good. I don't care why they get involved, as long as they get involved.
Wow, that's amazing. So you're going to Mindanao? Is that
Mindanao, Manila, probably all over. I know we're flying into Manila. But I get so far. We have land there. We have 2 acres. So to be able to build and using the natural resources in that area, bamboo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you can make it to where whatever place you're at, you can use it. Even the construction here is very low cost. So mainly what it costs to build a house, you could build an entire community, which kind of throws people off. But then also providing services in the community. Yeah. Obviously, you have a little more lax and better soil to farm there. So you can now teach people to farm. And they can provide their own food. Yeah. You can provide education. So now there's a way out.
Oh, wow. So when are you flying?
End of June.
Oh my goodness!
Seems to be, it's quick. It's coming fast.
So are you single right now, or are you?
I'm single.
My goodness! Watch out, Filipinas! Watch out! The lady killer is headed to the Philippines.
Lord have mercy.
They'll be like swooning over this lady killer.
Who's this? I'm like, no, I'm building houses. Help!
No, the Lord will shine through you mightily. I could see it now.
He does all the work. I give him all the credit, and with everything, when you start to understand it, I'm humbled by it because I go, who am I? I was a mess. I was just a sinner that said yes, and so you start to tell everyone, it's never too late. I think too often people are told, well, I've done all this. I go, I did much more, and so you're like, he still cares about you. He loves you. He wants you home. You don't have to sit here and exist in this nonsense. Right. You can get pulled out of that darkness. Yeah. But who's going to tell them? Yeah. That's why people don't understand. I go, you're not here to sit in the break room. You have a job. You're on the clock.
I just love
You're on the clock.
Because I love sitting in the break room.
Oh, yeah. I did it for about 33 years.
Oh, my. And speaking about that mess, when I was a mess, or sometimes when I get like super tempted, I feel like I'm crawling towards God wounded. And one time I got a revelation. And as I was crawling in my spirit, he said, stop, be still, and know that I am God. I am behind you, and I am all over you. And I'm like, wow.
Mm. Yeah. He knows the whole story.
And it's my relationship with God has evolved throughout the years. It's not something boring that I go through season to season. It's the same thing over and over. There's always a revelation.
Yeah, and this isn't the ending. This is the beginning. And you said the key word. It's a relationship with him. People know of him. I go, Lucifer knows of him, but I go, there's no relationship there. That's what he wants, is a relationship with us, and we can have that through Christ. And people go, wait a minute, what? I go, now you see why man would get mad, because they lose control. When you can go directly to the creator of all things and go, here I am. Yeah. And that's hard for some people, I go, because that's what we've been taught. But we've been taught a lot of stuff that's not correct. And then you start to understand that. You go, okay.
I've recently learned the prayer of praying God's will. Because there was a time I was only religious but really didn't have that relationship. Mm-hmm. I was frightened, because I thought that God was a vengeful, wrathful God, that he was only out to get me and about to throw me, in hell. Like it's hell, fire, and brimstone. No. That's what I thought, but all that changed. It was like a kaleidoscope that was unfolding before my eyes. And I finally saw how much he loved me. And I just love sharing this with people, like mine who have encountered the Lord.
Of course. It changes everything.
And also sharing it to people with unlike mind, people who don't, think like us, to show them, that God is not out to get you.
Yeah. And when you find the kingdom, you want to let people know there's plenty of room. That's what changes stuff. It's not about like, oh, there's only space for me.
Yeah.
As long as you woke up this morning, you have that same opportunity. People forget this. They're too busy trying to judge someone else. And I go, now's not the time for judgment. Even the demons know, have you come to test us before the time? Because we're under grace and mercy now. That time hasn't come.
I'm shaking right now. I'm shaking.
Calm down. It's going to be all right. We're not talking about plan.
No.
But I mean, that's the thing, is that people forget, is that you have so much time.
Yeah.
Meaning you have this day. And we forget. Too often we live in the past, we live in the future. The future is your imagination, and the past is gone. So he says, live in this day. And that's what happens, is the world teaches us how to hold on to the past, not let go. We can't forgive ourselves, even though he's forgiven us. And the future, which is all worry. Meanwhile, he's telling you, I provide for you. I will cover your needs. So who are you listening to? Then you see it and you go, wait a minute, why am I putting nonsense above God? And that's too often what we're doing. And that's idol worship, period. It just means putting something before God.
Oh my goodness. So this has been amazing, powerful testimony. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to seeing my testimony in your show.
I am too. It's going to be great.
His show is called Saved by Grace. I almost said Saved by the Grace.
But we were saved by the grace of God. It wasn't me.
So it's going to be amazing. We're going to miss you here in Las Vegas. Maybe you should bring us all with you.
Well, you guys are always invited. Something tells me we're building a big thing, so he's building a huge thing.
Maybe our producer Joe is going to bring us to the Philippines. He's behind the camera right now.
There you go.
So thank you for gracing my show.
That's good. I think a play on words. See?
Yeah.
Talented. I'm telling you.
Thank you. It's all him. It's all him.
Amen.
Yeah. Praise be he.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. I'm talking like old school. Oh my God. I'm so excited for your trip.
Thank you.
I pray for traveling mercies, and may all the angels, uphold that jumbo jet all the way to the Philippines.
I'm done.
Just had a visual with their wings.
Yeah, you say like, oh, we're getting there. I didn't worry about stuff.
Yeah. Oh my! It's going to be amazing and adventurous trip.
Well, all these projects, he's when we're doing His will, it's blessed. You start to see it.
I can't wait to see your posts on Facebook about what God is doing and miracles He's performing.
We're going to need some fashion tips too, so we don't have to send this.
Oh, absolutely! I'm all in. I'm all about fashion.
See? You heard it here first. Watch out, Philippines.
Yes, watch out.
He's coming. He's coming back.
Watch out, Philippines, for the lady killer.
Lady killer. Oh boy! Someone's going to start saying that. I go, who told you this?
The killer in Manila.
He doesn't stop. It's so funny.
All right, so that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for Lance Parvin.
Thank you.
And God bless you, brother.
Bless you, brother.
Beastie Boy shirt right
there.
Yeah.
It's a shirt.
Fabulous.